your kingdom destiny is. In this workshop, you're going to learn how to discover the advantages that bless those who choose to find and obey God's predetermined purpose for their kingdom destiny. Did you know you had a predetermined kingdom purpose? We're also going to go over 5 surefire examples of confidence to drive your business into success, and the protection and purpose and how they are connected, and why you must fall in love with perseverance. You got to fall in love with perseverance. And you also need to understand the objectivity and the kingdom effect. What is that? Stick around, we're going to talk about it. And cracking the contentment code, and in all of that, finding joy in the midst of hell is a trademark worth patent. That's something that I don't care what you're going through, especially when you're in business. You're going to be like, what is this? And can I make it through it? And why ignoring the intercession of the Holy Spirit will cost you time and sales. And so you don't want to miss out on this. And just a reminder, we're not just talking about living out your kingdom business and life purpose. That's the whole key, is to do what God wants you to do. That's what we're talking about today. And your purpose isn't just a wish, but it's creating that reality from that inspired idea that he gave you and that he put in you. And your purpose is forever life changing. So don't forget that it is God's given appointment to do something bigger than we could ever think of ourselves. So we got to always be open to hear that. In John 16, it says, "You did not choose me, but I chose you and appointed you that you should go and bear fruit, and that your fruit should abide, so that whatever you ask the Father in my name, he may give it to you." And so we're going to be able to help you with that today. My name is Kathy McReynolds. I'm the founder of Bible Business Academy. And our goal is to help you build a business with biblical principles, so then you can take those resources and put them back into the kingdom and finance the kingdom, be able to get God's word out there and share with people how amazing he is. So I want to thank you all for joining us today for another irresistible message from our Kingdom Business Workshop series provided by Bible Business Academy that we bring to you each and every Thursday. Guys, you can go to BibleBusinessAcademy.com to learn more about our global organization. And as I said, my name is Kathy McReynolds. I'm your host for today, and we want to help you get time freedom, debt freedom, and financial freedom. We transform entrepreneurs into kingdom leaders with the sole purpose of growing the kingdom and fulfilling God's original purpose. And we believe that this message today is going to equip you to grow in your faith and grow in your finances, advancing your life and your business as you discover your purpose and pursue it with passion. You got to pursue it with passion. We were on a call this morning, and I was talking to our sales rep, and I'm like, he said, show it with zeal. Like, you got to show it with zeal to be able to do his work for him. So let's get started here. And I got an exclusive gift for you. If you stick around to the end, we're going to tell you about some free resources that you can get and use to help your business be able to grow. And so make sure you stick around. And if this is your first time tuning in, just to give you a little of my background. Again, as I said, I'm Kathy McReynolds from Akron, Ohio. And I always joke and say I grew up shy, sheltered in church basically 6 days a week. See, my mom was a minister. My dad was a football coach. I left home at 19, moved to the DC, Baltimore, Boston, and Pittsburgh area. If we got anybody in those areas, let me know that you're in that area. And I'm also dropping a comment whether you're catching this with the live or the replay. Drop an L for live and R for replay, and let us know what type of business you have or you're thinking about having. Do you have that consultant, that business you want to start? Is it a course business? Is it product business? What are you looking to start? And guys, I've been in business for myself for over 30 years. And I always say, and about 4 years ago, I decided to bring this business online to as they say, bring my gift online and be able to help other people start their own business. I'm also a licensed financial advisor. And I've made money and made six figures plus in businesses, and also lost business money in businesses. So you just get out there and you get it done. Hey, Miss Patricia, how are you? And guys, before I dive into today's subject, you can pick up a copy of our book, Bible Business Secret. You can get a copy of that on Amazon, or you can go to BibleBusinessAcademy.com/books. And you can also pick up a copy of our planner, Believe and Grow Rich planner, so that it can help you plan what God has called you to do. And your business planning is something that's very, very important. And we have about four different models in our Kingdom Management Enterprise System. We help you with that kingdom culture to help you. Maybe you're that CEO who wants to grow their business and you don't want to do it the traditional way, right? So that's where this comes in. We help you with that CEO management, that leadership, your mission, vision, and values, your strategic planning, your ownership structure. And then on that financial development part, we're going to help you with your size, your strategic position, reporting, capital structure, and legal agreements. See, we have individuals and we also have businesses that we serve and help. And then we want to help you to build that team. It takes a team to build any dream. And so that's managing the team, building your sales team, helping you develop in an environment and a culture that will help you to grow. And also that other corner of that, I call it the four corners there, is that business process. Like how do you get clients? What's the acquisition for clients? Your management system, your practical success system, your growth and capability system. What are you doing to make all of that happen? Those are the things that we would help you with. So you can make that happen through our memberships or our academies or our Done For You program. And as I said, that's for businesses or individuals. So I'm going to go ahead and dive into today's topic. It's how to discover your kingdom destiny. And I'm going to share with you 5 most important questions to help you discover your destiny that you definitely want to know and to understand. So if you're missing getting the answer right to even one of these, it could possibly lead to your kingdom destiny not being fulfilled. And we don't want that to happen. Now, if you haven't caught the series, you got to go back and check out number 1 and number 2. And this is number 3 that we're on. It says number 1 is show kingdom business leaders show kingdom business leaders think about business for profit. Should kingdom business leaders think about business for profit and wealth? So we talked that in series 1. So you can go on YouTube and catch that series. And also while you're over there, make sure you subscribe and hit the like and share button so we can get these message out to other people. And number 2 was, how does your kingdom purpose give precision to building your kingdom business? All of that you can find over on YouTube. So today we're going to talk about how do you develop in these 7 phases to secure your blessings overflow as you build your kingdom business. Let me repeat that. How do you develop in these 7 phases to secure your overflow blessing as you build your kingdom business? So you got to discover the advantages that bless those who choose to find and obey God's predetermined purpose for their kingdom destiny. And how do you discover that? You got to study. You got to start looking at what's working, what's not working, and how you can make that work. And I'm going to also share with you, right, growing in these 7 areas will be a huge benefit to you, not only to your business, but also to your life and to your destiny. So before we dive into that, let's get those 5 surefire examples of confidence that you need to drive business into your success. So number 1 is confidence, right? So reason number 1 in the confidence realm is understanding your kingdom destiny gives you quiet confidence. That's you know what that quiet confidence, that's that confidence that people around you may not even recognize that you're called to do that or you're capable of doing that. But in that quiet confidence, because of having that personal relationship with God, and that you're able to deliver on what He called you to do. Now, I didn't say it won't be a challenge. Even in that challenge, that you're comfortable, confident in making that happen. You may not always be comfortable, but you can definitely be confident. And when you have that quiet confidence, it assures you that you're doing the right thing. You know that you're doing the right thing. And even if your purpose is a little fuzzy and you're not quite clear on what that might be, you're confident in knowing that it will be revealed to you and that it will be fulfilled. And that allows you to be able to work and wait in peace. And as you're waiting and you're growing and you're developing. So this same kingdom confidence was seen in the life of Jesus as he went about his father's business. So that is your great example right there. And the Gospel of Matthew tells a story in which Jesus healed a man who was blind and muted because he had a demon. And when the religious leaders saw that Jesus had the power to cast out demons, they accused him of receiving his power from Beelzebub, the chief of demons. So like sometimes as you're going about and you're doing something different from what the people around you are used to you doing, they might be like, well, who is he or who is she to think that they can do that? Like, we come from the same walk, the same family, the same neighborhood, the same block. They can't do that. I never did that. So what makes them think that they can do that? And when you're going through that, just remember that scripture. Go back and study that, so that can give you that quiet confidence to keep moving and making things happen. So let's talk about who showed confidence in the Bible, because confidence is key in you carrying out your kingdom destiny. And so now we're going to talk about the spies viewing the land, right? And so you can see the difference between people who viewed something and looked at something being scared, and people who looked at something being confident. And I'm coming from Numbers 13, 1-3. It says, then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, send men to spy out the land of Canaan, which I am going to give to the sons of Israel. For each of their fathers' tribes, you shall send a man, every one a leader among them. So Moses sent spies from the wilderness of Paran at the command of the Lord, all of them men who were heads of the Israelites. Moses sent them to spy out the land of Canaan and said to them, go up this way into the Negev, the south country, then go up to the hill country. See what the land is like and whether the people who live there are strong or weak or few or many. So you see that? See what the people are like. Are they strong? They're weak? They're few or many? And even when you're building your business, one of the first things that we have you do is go out and see what's happening in the niche that you want to build in. That's why it's important. You got to know what's out there. You just can't come on and say, I want to start a business, but you don't go spy out the land. You got to go spy out the niche. You got to go spy in groups. You got to go look in comments. You got to go dig and dive deep in order to make things happen. And, and I pray that, God just keeps working through me to help me to give the right message to you. And if you're out there and you're listening, then I hope he gives you the ears to hear and then the will to go out and take action and make that happen in Jesus' name. I just wanted to throw that out there, just say that prayer in the midst of this, so that because I really want you to get and understand what you are either going to do or you're going to leave behind, because of that confidence is not out. It is not in you. And it goes on to say, and whether the land in which they live is good or bad, and whether the cities in which they live are open campus or fortifications, and what the land is, whether it is a fat, productive, or lean, whether there's timber on it or not. I want to stop right there. So whether it is a fat, productive, or lean. So when you're looking at building a business, you got to look to see, is it fat, productive? Is it something that you can produce a harvest from, where you can profit, where you can make money from? Or is it lean? Is it something that, it's not going to bring forth the fruit that you need it to bring forth? It's not going to bring forth the money, because a lot of people think, oh, well, if you're a Christian or if you're a faith, you shouldn't make money. No, I mean, like, you got to get in the Bible. It's not about religion. It's a story of, the queen, the kings, and the land, and what God's what he wanted to happen. And when you get in there and you read it, ask for what it says and not for what you hear from everyone else, you'll begin to see that God put us here for a purpose, to work his kingdom. And each of us, he gave us particular gifts that we can use in order to help that grow. It said whether it's timber in it or not, make an effort to get some of the fruit of the land. Not the now the time was the time of the first right grapes, if I can talk today. So he said make an effort to be productive, to be profitable, to make things happen. Are you making that effort in your own business, in your own life, in your own what? Like the spies report, you like just go study this numbers 13, and then take that and put it towards your business and ask yourself, what are you doing? It says when they return from spying out the land at the end of 40 days. See, end of 40, like they spied out the land. They went and did some research. They went and saw what happened. See, some people will get on here and they'll do research for 1 hour. Like when you come into our academy, we have a 25-page document for you to go do some real research so you'll know if it's good or if it's plenty, right? If it's lean. You'll know that because there's certain things that you have to look at and you have to see if it's ripe, if it's ready to produce, or are you going to make things happen. Just number 13, go read that and ask yourself, are you doing that in your research to make that happen? And when they return, see, here's what happens. Okay, so after you go out and do that research, after you go out and look at the niche that you feel that you are called in, and that's part of your purpose, and are you really doing the research? Are you really digging in and diving deep? We have another business called Ice Fit Studio, and so where we help people place medical equipment into salons or doctor's offices, things like that. So part of what we got to do is go do the research on the area, the research on the laws, the research on the customers, and it's a lot of research. So sometimes you can get like, do I really need to do this research? Why don't I just take what I need and just go ahead and put it out there, or what I believe is going to work? Why don't I just go put it out there? Because you can't do that. There's been a many of businesses that have been shut down because they didn't go read the laws and understand what they needed to do, how they needed to do, and make sure it was right. That's part of your due diligence as you're building a business. So don't just have an idea and all of a sudden throw it up there. He said at the end of 40 days. Like when I tell people they go through this research, it could take a week or 2 weeks to get through that research. But what's the rush, right? If you go through it the right way, you don't have to keep circling back around. And he said in Numbers 13:26, they came to Moses and Aaron and to all the congregations of the sons of Israel in the wilderness of Paran and Kadesh, and brought back word to them, and to all the congregation showed them the land's fruit. They reported to Moses and said, we went into the land where you sent us, and it certainly does flow with milk and honey, and that is its fruit. So when they went out and got the research, they came back to the leaders and they shared with them what they found. Who are you sharing with what you found? That's the important part that you got to consider when you're looking at starting your course or your consulting business. Yes, that may be your superpower. Yes, that may be something that you're really, really good at, but who's helping you build it? I always say it, it takes a team to build the dream. It may sound cliche, but guess what, guys? You can't do this by yourself. You're not meant to do this by yourself. I'm not meant to do this by myself. I have a team that we do all of this together. And, and I was just telling them that I always look at mentors. I spend money on books, on classes, on seminars, on all these different things, on mentors, so that you can get wisdom and that you can learn from someone who already has what you want. That's the key. And it goes on to say in Numbers 13:28, but the people who lived in the land are strong. Okay, here's the but, right? Yeah, that niche is making a lot of money and it's doing well, but I'm new. I like the people who are in there, they already got it going on. It's already happening for them. Can it happen to me? He says, but the people who live in the land are strong, and the cities are fortified, walled, and very large. Moreover, we saw the descendants of Anak, and these are people of great stature and courage. Then Caleb quieted the people before Moses and said, let us go up at once and take possession of it, for we will certainly conquer it. So you have to be that Caleb in this situation to say, I don't care if they've been in this niche and have dominated for decades. If I'm called to do it, God's going to make a way for me to do it. All I have to do is believe of what he said and this go get it. He said, go take possession of it, because everybody, I can hear it now, like they were all up in uproar. Oh my God, they've been here for a long time. They're already dominating the industry. They're really good at it. Like, how can we, us little people, go up there and do it? Caleb, see, that's you got to be that Caleb. You got to be the. He's like, hold up. We got this. If we were called to do this, let's go take possession of it and make it happen. And that's how you got to feel about your business. If you were called to run this business and do this, you got to be like, let's go do it. Let's go make it happen. Whatever it takes, how many ever years it takes, he will guide me through. If this is what he wants me to do, he's going to get me through it so I can get to it and so I can live out his destiny. And that's what your business is about living out what God put you here to do so that you can make that happen. And then as we continue in the spies report on 31, it said, but the men who had gone up with him said, we're not able to go up against the people of Canaan, for they are too strong for us. They're too strong for us. How often have you said that? Like, I can't do this because, you know, a Russell Brunson, a Tony Robbins, a Les Brown, they've been in this space for a long time. They're too big. They're too strong. Who am I, little old me, to come in here? You're God's chosen one. He called you to do it. And they made room for their gifts when somebody else was dominating it. Now it's your turn. It's your turn to go out there and make it happen. He goes on to say, so they gave the Israelites a bad report about the land which they had spied out, saying, the land through which we went and spying it out is a land that devours its inhabitants. You might be feeling that way about your niche. You might be feeling that way about being online, that you may be devoured. No one's paying attention to you. No one's watching you. No one's listening to you. And all the people that we saw in it are men of great stature. So you start putting people up on pedestals. You start diminishing yourself. You start saying that they're great and you can never be that great and you can never do things that big. You start to diminish yourself. There we saw the Nephilim, the sons of Anak, are part of the Nephilim, and we were like grasshoppers in our own sight. See, he said we were like grasshoppers in our own sight, and so we were in their sight. So when you start to see yourself as small as a grasshopper in this whole big internet world in your own sight, you'll never make it happen. So if you fail and you know that you've said to yourself, man, who am I that I can do this? But I don't have the experience. I don't have the background. I don't have the education. I don't have, anytime you don't have, or little old me, how can I? Then you are self-sabotaging yourself. That's where that confidence is. You have to change that so that you have confidence in what God said. And when you have confidence in what he said, you're going to be like, Caleb, let's go do this. Let's go make this happen. We can do this. We can make that happen. That's important when it comes to building the business. If you don't have that confidence and that belief and know that you have room, like God will make room for your gift. He will make room for what he called you to do in the big world, right? No matter what it is, he's going to make room for that. So you got to show the confidence like Joshua and Caleb. Then Caleb quieted the people before Moses and said, let us go up at once. Sometimes you got to quiet the noise, not only around the people, but also in your head. He said, but we certainly can conquer it. So when you know that you certainly can conquer something, that's the confidence that you're having. You must develop the right mindset. If you want to build a business, if you want to do something great, if you want to walk in your purpose, if you want to help people, if you want to serve people, you must believe in the ability that God has given you and the expertise that you have. You know it already helped you. You know you've already helped some people out. It could be one or two, or it could be just you. If you got through it, you can help other people. If you have that gift of teaching and you're able to share with someone else what you did, you can help them. You can hold their hand and you can walk them through it so they don't have to go through all the pain that you went through. You have to want to need to excel. It has to be important to you. You have to have you have to get what you need to be confident. We were talking to the sales teams today, and I was telling them, the challenge is you're spending too much time reading, thinking, and contemplating instead of doing. And I was like, if you got a daughter who's in track, so if your daughter just sat there and read every book, watched every tape, but never got on the track field and ran, would she be any good at it? No, she wouldn't be any good. She'll be even more confused. So maybe you're that person who's reading everything, watching everything, Googling everything, but you don't take action unless that means your confidence is low. So you got to get your confidence up and be like Caleb and Joshua and let's go do this. Let's conquer this. And you fail for it. You learn as you go. God will continue to guide you. And you can always come to one of our academies and we can help you with that. And out of the 12 sent to the promised land to survey it, only two saw possibilities. Caleb and Joshua, and that's Numbers 13 and 30. In the Bible, it says only two of them. Are you going to be the one of the two? Or are you going to be the other 8 who didn't see the possibility? That's what you got to ask yourself. It is that simple. Am I one of the 2 who see the possibility, or am I part of the other ones who didn't see the possibility? And when you're developing the right mindset and the other 10 saw blessings of the promised land, but they allowed the sight of the challenges blind them from recognizing the opportunities of the land. See, you allow the likes, the shares, the comments, the books that have been published, the seminars that have already been had, the lives that have already been touched. You allow all of that to blind you of what he called you to do. And therefore, you miss out on your purpose. It doesn't happen because it blinds you. You want to shift that mindset from seeing stumbling blocks to seeing success, to saying, I know just me by myself, maybe I can't, but with God and I get a team, we got this. We're going to make this happen. That's confidence. And if you are focused on what is not happening, okay? If you're focused on what is not happening and who is not doing things or what can happen, then you can't achieve your goal. You can't go into something thinking it won't work. Because guess what, guys? It won't work if you think it won't work. But if you go into it because you've done the research, you had the proper training, you've had the proper coaching, you know that it's your calling, you know that this is your gift, you know that it's fruitful and it's profitable and it's the land of milk and honey, then go get it. Go get your money. Go make it happen, right? It's important to see the possibilities around you like Joshua and Caleb did in Numbers 14, 6-7. Begin to see these opportunities to demonstrate your skills and the occasions to shine at the expertise in your niche. You got to look for these things. You got to look for opportunities to put yourself out there. You got to look for opportunities to speak on stages. You got to look for opportunities to be on someone's podcast or to put someone on your podcast, or you got to look for the opportunities to put another video out there, the time that, like everything, you have to look for that. We used to say you got to see it before you seize it, right? You got to look for that And some of the ways that you can do that is you got to start your day with daily affirmations. And that's why, our Believe and Grow Rich planner is so crucial in you making that happen. It gives you the opportunity every day to write down what you see and what you need to seize. And you say those, I call them faith formations, right? You say those faith formations over and over again. It helps you to get it inside of you. That's why he said, meditate on my word day and night, so you can get that inside of you and you can get that belief and you can know that it's possible. And you need to speak to that mountain of doubt and speak to that mountain of fear, and whatever is hindering you, you got to say, get behind me. No, I am going to go do this. Affirm God's promise for you at all times and start calling things as though they are, as that you want them to be. So I want you to promise yourself that you're going to study these 5 examples in the Bible to help you grow in your confidence. Joshua and Caleb, Moses just before he parted the Red Sea, the daughters of Zephalah, Daniel, Joseph in prison. That's 5 right there that you can go look at and say, let me look at their confidence. What made them confident? What led up to that confidence, and how can I get that? I'm going to share that with you again. Joshua and Caleb, Moses just before he parted the Red Sea, the daughters of Zephalah, Daniel, and Joseph in the prison. Learn from their confidence and see how you can then take their confidence and apply it in your life. Let me know if you got value out of that. What was your biggest aha moment in that process? Because you gotta protect your purpose, and you got to know how that protection and your purpose is interconnected, how they're connected. And second, having a kingdom destiny will provide that protection. It keeps you focused on what your goal is, because a lot of ideas will come to you. A lot of people will come disguised as if it's your gift, work you're operating in your gift, but it's pulling you away from what you were called to do, because it's that shiny syndrome, right? That shiny object syndrome. Oh, this looks easier, right? Oh, it looks better. Oh, well, everyone's here. No. Did you do the research on it? Is it your gift? Is it what you were called to do? Is it that idea that's probably been in you since your childhood? You got to think back. I was talking to someone on here the other day, and he was like, man, I knew since I was 7 years old that I was called to do this. And sometimes it takes you decades to realize it, like the Israelites went around for 40 years, right? So you got to know what you were called to do. And no matter how challenging it is, no matter what makes you want to quit, no matter what makes you stop and not want to go there, you got to keep going. You got to keep making it happen. It is an extension of confidence, because you know that you know. So you got to know that nothing can harm you. Nothing can stop you until your purpose is fulfilled. Because if God put that purpose here for you, you may have to go from the pit to the palace to prison, back to the palace to leadership before you get there. But guess what? Nothing will stop you from getting to that purpose. And when you know that, and you have, that's that secret quiet confidence, and you get that from being in the word, from knowing the scripture, from knowing what God said, you know that it's going to happen. Oh, okay, God, I'm going through this. What lesson do you need me to learn? What level do you need me to climb to, so that I can get better, so I can serve the people that you put me here to serve? These are all the things that you have to think about. And this includes your physical mishaps like fear and worry and distraction. All of those are adversaries and an attempt to deter us from completing our kingdom destiny. Don't ever let any of that deter you. See, protection and purpose, they are connected, and you have to understand that your purpose is protected, because you must get through it. I'm going to share with you Luke 8:24-25. It says a great example can be found in the life of Jesus when he and his disciples were crossing the Sea of Galilee when a storm arose that threatened to sink the boat. Jesus was asleep. Okay. First of all, he already knew that he was sent here to die on the cross, right? So if he in the boat and the boat's rocking, it's a big storm, he chilling, he relaxing, he's sleeping, because he already knew what his purpose was. And it surely was not to die in the sea, in the storm. Is that making sense to you, right? The disciples went and woke him saying, Master, Master, we're going to drown. Now he had already told them why he was here and what he was going to do. He was going to die. He was going to, rise in 3 days. Like, they didn't hear that. So sometimes you got to check yourself before you wreck yourself and be like, okay, I ain't hear that. Am I hearing something right? Because if I got doubt and fear in me, I know it's not of God. It's confidence, it's courage. All of that I got to have in me in order to make things happen. He said, we're going to drown. He got up and he rebuked the wind and the raging waters. The storm subsided and all was calm. And he just looked at him and said, where's your faith? Where's your faith? When you have doubt that you're living out your purpose, I'm looking at you saying, where's your faith? Where's the faith? In what he said, he asked his disciples that in Luke 8:24-25. Who's asking you that? Where's your faith? Are you asking yourself that? Where is your faith? Because if it's your purpose today or last week, but you had challenges this week and you want to quit today, no, where's your faith? You can't, where's your faith? It's like the wind. You're on the boat. It's coming through. Jesus like, I'm chilling. I already know what my purpose is. I know what I'm here to do. That's how confident you have to be in it. Jesus couldn't die by drowning in a storm. That was not his destiny. God sent him to die on the cross for the salvation of mankind. No mere storm was going to interfere with that kingdom destiny. He was protected from death by the storm, by drowning, because his purpose was on the cross. Your purpose is protected. You just got to get out there and do it. You just got to have the faith. Like he said, where's your faith? Your kingdom destiny is your defense against anything that comes against you. So anything that comes against you, man, this is getting me rejuvenated and excited all over again. When you think about it, you hear it and you say it. That's why he says meditate day, meditate night. Keep going, keep thinking about it, keep hearing it. Because when you see this, it's like, okay, all right. Let's get excited. Let's get fired up and go get this done. That same protection is available to all of us who know their God-given kingdom destiny. God purpose will always win, y'all. It will always win. Once he tells you his purpose for your life, all worry should now leave you. He's already told you, he predestinated what you were going to do. And no matter how much pressure, no matter how many challenges, no matter how many no's, no matter how, whatever problems come and threaten you, they cannot take you out. Only you and your lack of faith can take you out. Those problems can't take you out. And when you know and you live within God's will for your life, you are invincible. And that's how you get that quiet confidence into your purpose is here and it is finished. Well done, my good and faithful servant, right? Peter said, I'm okay. I've ran the race. I've finished what I was called to do. Jesus said, it is finished, right? You need to understand and know. So if you don't know what your purpose is, you don't know what you're operating in, you know you're always in fear, you know you're always in turmoil, schedule a strategy call with us. That's what we're here to help you with. Because your purpose doesn't make life easy. It makes it possible. Let me say that again. Your purpose doesn't make life easy. It makes it possible. So just because you're having challenges doesn't mean that you're not operating in your gift, in your calling, in what you need to do. It's your test to see if you are going to be able to withstand whatever he puts you to. Like the Hebrew boy said, even if, right? Even if. We're still going to praise his name. We're still going to stay excited. That's how you have to be. Your kingdom destiny will keep you standing when you feel like sitting. It will keep you dialing and smiling on that phone when you feel like you don't want to talk to anyone. It'll keep you messaging people. It'll keep you going when you don't feel like it. You will not be deterred by anything you physically see like they were when they were sent out to spy. And that which you desire today, but you know what the word says, perseverance in the face of a seemingly desperate and hopeless situation will keep alive your dreams of living out your kingdom destiny. And that's the key right there, right? So this is why you must fall in love with persevering. So now we're on persevering, right? You had your protection and your quiet confidence. You had your protection, and now you got to persevere. The favorite son of Jacob, Joseph, is a great example. He was hated by his brothers because he had a dream that he would, they would all bow down to him, and they're like, "What? Boy, bye," right? That's what they were saying. We ain't gonna do this. This animosity increased when Joseph had that dream and shared it with his brother. And I'm reading from Genesis 37, 5 through 8. It says, now Joseph had a dream and he told it to his brothers, and they hated him still more. Sometimes you just can't tell your dreams to your family, right? I didn't say it, that's what the word said, right? And he said to them, listen now and hear, I pray you this dream that I have dreamt. We brothers were blinding sheaves in the field, and behold, my sheaf arose and stood upright, and behold, your sheaf stood around about my sheaf and bowed down. His brother said to him, shall you indeed reign over us? Younger brother, younger sister, or are you going to have us as your subjects and dominate us? And they hated him all the more for his dreams and for what he said. So some of you might be hated by your family, your friends, your acquaintance for the dreams that you have, and they might not come out and say it like the brothers did, but they're feeling that in the inside, and then you're feeling uneasy about helping them and moving forward and what he said. And so you got to know these things. So get in Genesis 37, 5 through 8, and let that give you that quiet confidence to know they're supposed to hate your dreams. They're supposed to not. Their purpose was to see if they can knock you out of your purpose, right? So you just allow them to go do what they do, and you go do what you do, and don't be deterred. Joseph was envisioning his kingdom destiny for his life. As a teenager, he discovered his purpose. And like I said, some of you, when I look back on all the things that I went through, all the challenges, the good stuff, the moments and the memories, I'm like, oh, I didn't recognize it. It took me forever to recognize what I was put here to do, but now I get it, and now I understand it. So you go through the process and you go through the journey and you make it happen. Joseph's brothers became even more jealous when he had a second dream that he told them and to their father. But Joseph dreamed yet another dream, and this is Genesis 37, 9 through 11. But Joseph dreamed yet another dream and told it to his brothers also. Confirmation, right? He said, see here, I have dreamed again, and behold, this time not only 11 stars, but also the sun and the moon bowed down and did reverence to me. And he told it to his father as well, his brother. But his father rebuked him and said to him, what is the meaning of this dream that you have dreamt? Shall I and your mother and your brothers actually come to bow down ourselves to the earth and to do homage to you? Joseph's brothers envied and were jealous of him, but his father observed the saying and pondered over it, right? So sometimes you got parents who understand, sometimes you got parents who are against, sometimes you got brothers who are for you, sometimes you got brothers who are against you, but you got to understand what the word said and let the word be the guide in your life. Let it help you to grow. Let it help you to get where you need to go. See, his brothers plotted to kill him because of what he had said to them. One brother, however, convinced the rest to throw him into the dry well desert, so that into the well in the desert, so that they wouldn't kill him and have his blood on his head. And then when a band of traders had came along, another brother suggested, hey, let's just sell him into slavery. They didn't care. So they can be sitting around and thinking about all these things that they can do to despise you and to take away what you were put here to do, but they can't, because your dream and your vision and your kingdom destiny is protected. And that's when Joseph ended up in Egypt as a slave. Y'all know the story, right? When he was in Egypt, he was sold to the Egyptian captain of the guard. The captain wife then accused Joseph of improper behavior towards her because he would not let her, he didn't want to sleep with her. So because he didn't want to sleep with her, she said something bad about him. So guess what? He got sent to jail. So my brothers are against me. My daddy beat me. I got thrown in the pit. I got sold into slavery. I get here to become a guard, and then this woman won't me, and I don't even want her. And now they're throwing me into prison. He got sent to jail. So do you think at any of those moments he's thinking that that dream that he had when he was a child is actually coming true? So I'm sharing that with you because that dream, that idea, that vision, that thought that's been with you for a long, long time in your life, and you're thinking, no, it couldn't be me. Think of Joseph, right? If Joseph went through all of this to get to where he went to, so can you. You can make that happen. It says sometimes later, two Egyptian officials were in the same prison with Joseph. Their destiny to be in the prison with Joseph. Each had a dream that Joseph interpreted for them, which later came true. When they were released, they forgot about him. He sat there for 2 more years. So you're thinking, I had this idea. I recognize what my kingdom destiny was. I recognize what my gift is, what I'm called to do, and it's not working. And you be saying that in 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 hours. 2 years later, Pharaoh also had a dream. It's 2 years. So you don't know what's in God's timing. You just have to go with what he puts here for you. And if you know that you know in your heart, because there's peace as you're doing it, and you begin to work through so many things, you got to keep going. I don't know how many years it's going to take, right? But you got to know one thing. It's protected. It's in his time. You got to learn some things to get to some things, right? And none of his, and Pharaoh, okay, so that's Pharaoh's role, right? For him to have a dream, for Joseph to interpret it, right? And none of his magicians or wise men could tell him what it meant. See, when you have a purpose and you're put here for that specific purpose, nobody else can tell you about it or what you need to do or help you in that situation. It will be the right person. So if that person comes into your life, or this class, or this is not working, just keep making it better, but stay in your purpose. You might have to flip from going to a course or consultant business to being on stage live, but it's all the same. You got to learn to operate in your gift, and you got to go through some things and do some things in order to get to some things, right? Joseph was brought from prison to interpret Pharaoh's dream. When Joseph was able to tell Pharaoh the meaning of his dream, Pharaoh put Joseph in charge of preparation for the drought that he had foreseen. Thus, many years after he had dreamt it, Joseph's dream came true. Many years after he had dreamt it. This person that I talked to said when he was 7 years old, he knew he was meant to be in a leadership position. And now it's happening some 30-something years later. Don't ever wait and think, don't ever quit, and think that it's not happening. You don't know what the time is. Many years later, after that dream after he dreamt it, Joseph's dream came true. His brothers came to Egypt to buy food, right? And when they came to Egypt to buy food, they didn't recognize him, but they bowed down in front of him when they were ushered into the presence, for Joseph was the governor of the land at that time and the one who sold grain to his people. Because so sometimes your family ain't going to recognize who you become, because y'all came from the same stock. And it ain't even about that you're better than them or they're better than you, but you had a purpose that God put you here for in order for you to do, in order for you to make happen. It says, in time, Joseph revealed himself to his brothers and told them that God had sent him ahead of them to Egypt to spare their lives and that of their father and their family. See his purpose? He spared the lives of his family. You could be there if you're willing to go through the pit, to the prison, through all of that stuff in order to spare the lives of your family and your friends and the ones who came behind you, the ones that you never even knew. As that leader, you're sent here to make a change. So many years After God revealed his kingdom destiny to Joseph, the dream was fulfilled. So go back and read Genesis 37, and that was 39 through 46 that I just went through. And use that to ask yourself, where are you in this journey of creating that success? So let me know what you got out of that section right there, right? So the next one we're going to talk about is, how do you act while you're in the waiting season? How do you act while you are in the waiting season? That's what we're going to talk to you about. But guess what, guys? You're going to have to join us on Monday when we come back and we're able to talk to you about how do you act in the waiting season. That's the key right there, because that's going to determine whether you get out or you stay in the waiting season. So I hope this brought you value today. You want to go to BibleBusinessAcademy.com, BibleBusinessAcademy.com. And on there, you can download a free report that will talk to you about how to build a business with biblical principles. You can also, again, pick up a copy of our Believe and Grow Rich on either Amazon, or you can go to believeandgrowrich.org. Get this planner to help you think, meditate on God's word, and be able to position yourself we call it in these 7 key areas to know what your purpose is, what your kingdom destiny is, and then every single day walk through that. And then you can also pick up a copy of our book called Bible Business Secrets, and in here will allow you to know if God is calling you to start a business, to be able to go through those purposes. It also give you some marketing for today's way of doing things, right? That you can go ahead and start implementing those strategies. And then you can always book a call with us so that we can help you with that and help you on your direction and your guidance to living out your purpose and to making that happen. And you want to jump ahead of the line, just go to call 1-833-BIBLE-BIZ. Again, that's 1-833-BIBLE-BIZ, and that will help you to get to that. And I'm going to go ahead and put a few of that, let me see, up on the screen here. Let's see. There we go. You got BibleBusinessAcademy.com, where you can go and you can download our book, our planner. Again, you can go to believeandgrowrich.org and get a copy of that planner. And then for that book, you can go to BibleBusinessAcademy.com and you can get a copy of that book. I think we got them all there. Oh, wait a minute. Was that the book? All right, y'all. I think, let's see. Let's hit show there. Yes. You can pick a copy of that book. Call 1-833-BIBLE-BIZ, 1-833-BIBLE-BIZ. And once you're inside, you'll be able to go to all of that. And it'll show you how you can schedule an appointment with us, or you can go to calendarly.com/call Kathy and book a time to sit down so we can go over your strategy so that we can help you in building your business and to be able to do the things that you need to do. So I hope today brought you value. And today we were talking about how to discover your kingdom destiny. We went over different areas and ways you can do that, but just leave this asking yourself, do you have that quiet confidence, and how you can build that quiet confidence. And join us on Monday as we talk about how do you act in the waiting season. How do you act in the waiting season? I appreciate you. On Thursdays, we go a little longer here so we can really dive in, and we'll be developing this and growing this as we bring this to you. Don't forget, if you got value, likes, hit the likes, tell us what you got value at, hit share. And on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe to us so that when we put out new videos and when we're doing the teaching, we're here to be able to help you, and you'll know what we're coming out with and what we got going. So I appreciate you guys. If I don't see any questions, I'm going to say goodbye. Have a great evening, and we shall talk to you.